Welcome to my step-by-step Righteous Fire Juggernaut League starter leveling guide. This is a very detailed step-by-step leveling guide that I had to break into several parts to keep them detailed and not to skip anything major that the new Path of Exile players would not know about. So in this part number 1, I will go about 1/3 of the way from level 1 to about level 33 and the start of Act 4. If you like what I'm doing here and are interested in the further parts of this guide, please give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. This build is suitable for the current 321 Crucible League and should be perfectly suitable for the next 322 League coming our way towards the end of August. Unless they change something, which is why you should always check the first pinned comment and the description of the video for any updates to this build. Final request before we begin, please watch the video and use the chapters if your attention span is limited before asking questions or criticizing my bare bones path of building. It is like that for a reason, and the video is made to handhold you in this process, not the POB. Thank you. So let's get the damage question out of the way first, and who this build is kind of more better suited for. Your leveling will feel a bit on a slow side with relatively low damage output, especially compared to something like a Summoner Witch or most of the Ranger builds as an example, until about level 17, when you will start using Righteous Fire. Then it becomes suddenly amazing and it will feel like you're going uphill. So follow the guide and hold off to pass judgment on this build before you start using Righteous Fire properly. Generally, Righteous Fire builds are not for mad rushers and for people who are speed running something. They are more for slow and steady, because it's kind of the attitude of nothing can kill me, but I will eventually burn everything around me type of gameplay. Sounds like it's for you? Well, let's go ahead then. You will start by creating a Marauder character in the league, in the current league, whatever it is, and you will follow the brain-dead steps on the beach, killing Hillock, mini-boss there, and saying hello to all Lion's Eye Watch citizens. This is the first little town on your way. So basically talk to everyone always who has exclamation marks above their heads. Tarkley will offer you a reward, and you could also go several ways here, but why not just take Molten Strike gem, put it into your gear, and start using that skill. So stick with strength-based red gems for now. And always check the vendors who are selling stuff, yeah? Because they could be selling lots of relatively good stuff, relatively good gear, if you are lucky. So do check with them, and keep prioritizing intellect. Around level 3, you should have retrieved the stolen medicine chest from the island nearby, and then you would proceed to the next, from the beach, you would go to the next area, which is called Mud Flats. It will be full of those little raw charges. They're actually quite dangerous, you know, if you're not prepared, and skeletons, with the main quest being breaking a few eggs, where you need to basically retrieve parts of a certain puzzle from the raw nests. And also Tarkley will ask you to clear Fetid Pool as an optional quest. Well, optional quests here are not really optional if you want to level your character properly, so absolutely plan to do the Fetid Pool. But I would not rush to do it before you are about level 6, as it makes life much easier there. So just take your time getting those extra fragments from those raw nests and find the exit from the map into the submerged passage, because you will be rewarded for that as well. So I would find the exit to submerged passage, unlock it, take the waypoint in the submerged passage, return back to Mud Flats, and then go to clear Fetid Pool. At this stage, you will look for weapon drops. Well, you always look for weapon drops, and at the vendors, as I already mentioned, I would look for scepters. You could use one scepter and a shield for extra defense, or you could go for a bit of extra damage with 2 scepters. in one in each hand. It's up to you. You could also, some players go with wands, because wands give you spell damage, yeah? But those tend to exceed your reasonably attainable intellect level pretty quickly. Plus, spell damage does not affect Righteous Fire. I know we're not using it yet, but we are kind of planning for the future, don't we? So only elemental damage, plus elemental damage, or explicitly mentioned plus fire damage affects Righteous Fire, not spell damage. Keep that in mind always when choosing better gear. Look out for iron rings. Yes, those white ones, the iron rings. And for sale at the vendors, they are sometimes for sale. We will need at least 2 of those very, very soon. So definitely pick those up and buy them from the vendors if you can. When you sell a white iron ring with 1 red gem of any kind and of any level to a vendor, they will give you back a level 16 fire resistance ring. You will need 2 of those to help max out your fire resistance before you start using Righteous Fire. That's why I am kind of harping on about it. That's why it's very important for you to plan for that. After wrapping up with the Fetid Pool, you will proceed through Submerged Passage to the Flooded Depths in there. It's like a cave within a cave, if you like, to kill a big crab there and get extra skill point. Continuing your journey through the ledge and killing the most oversized, probably compensating for something, totem called Kuduku you will ever see in this game. It's the most massive totem, yeah. And eventually you will proceed, you will go along the way, you kind of cannot get lost there, and you will enter the prison. As a reward here, by unlocking the prison, when you return to town, you will get fire damage support gem that you should absolutely socket to make your Molten Strike, if you're still using Molten Strike, hit harder. And also go to the vendor and straight away buy Holy Flame Totem. One of my favorite spells in the whole game, and not just for this build. Start using Holy Flame Totem straight away, as it's your main friend that will auto-target enemies and burn everything, so that you don't have to go mad having to click every single target manually yourself to hit them with your Molten Strike. Prison is where you will also encounter your very first quest line of Trials of Ascendancy. You will see it kind of automatically added to your list of quests in kind of green color there on the side. So look out for those wings of the dungeons, if you like. As you enter, there will be a notification that you should complete a Trial of Ascendancy here. Always complete them. Going beyond the green doors that open and trying to avoid all the traps on the way until the end. Completing each Trial of Ascendancy allows you to then run the instances of what every Path of Exile creator refers to as Lab. It is the Emperor's Labyrinth, which will feel like one massive Trial of Ascendancy again, with a harder boss encounter throughout. Like you'll have to fight a boss on several occasions in the labyrinth. This will help you become much stronger and will turn your Marauder into a Juggernaut later in the game. In case you're wondering, how do I become a Juggernaut? Well, you have to ascend. You will finish the prison by killing Brutus. Then you return to town and get Vitality Aura from Tarkley, I think, as a reward. You will also buy Leap Slam from the vendor, as you can only take 1 free reward, fitting both of those skills, hopefully, into the gear sockets. And you will start using both of those skills. Vitality will help you regenerate life, and Leap Slam will help you go up and down the ledges. Around level 13, you will enter the ship graveyard, find a cave, get the All Flame from the dead slave girl, and return it to Captain Fairgraves, who then turns on you, spoiler alert, and you kill him for another free skill point. Around level 15, you will reach Merveil, the end boss of Act number 1, in her Cavern of Anger. What helps with Merveil, for this build anyway, is to swap whichever rings you are currently using to those with cold resistance. Boost your cold resistance, basically. And then it's a little bit of a long fight, relatively long anyway, for a Marauder with no Righteous Fire just yet. But you will get there slow and steady, just like this build plays throughout. So welcome to Act number 2, where you will quickly find Forest Encampment. Just as soon as you emerge in the zone, go north and you will reach Forest Encampment before you know it. Typically, I start by going left out of town to Riverways. Then I take the waypoint and turn north-ish on the map and exit the map into wetlands. This is where you will find the camp of the first bandit called Oak, who you need to kill. We will kill, by the way, all bandits, so you need to kill him and 2 more bandits remaining. We're not helping any bandits in this build, regardless of what they're trying to offer us. If you still don't have Righteous Fire, you will notice that Oak leeches or regenerates, I can't remember, life, but he basically gets it back. So you will really struggle to kill him at this stage. In this particular build, some other builds kill him easily, but this one does at this stage. This is a point where you will just pop a portal and go back to town with absolutely zero shame and talk to Groost, who should give you by now, because you met the first bandit, he should give you a quest about warriors in black and the Chamber of Sins. This is when you leave the town going right. So there are 2 exits out of town. You ignore other objectives for now. You follow the road until you get to Crossroads. You take the waypoint there and head north. Yep, similar pattern of movement as we did when we just went left. You will eventually find the entrance to the Chamber of Sins. Go through it, find and save Helena, and after that you come back to town and Groost will give you Herald of Ash reward gem. It's another fire buff, basically, that will reserve some of your mana, but will make your Holy Flame Totem hit much harder. And this is when you can also buy Righteous Fire blue gem from Yina. This is where I personally, on this particular character, which was my second, by the way, Righteous Fire character this league, I was too low on intelligence and I couldn't immediately use Righteous Fire. But this is just a gentle reminder for you to make sure that you buy gear with intelligence or find gear with intelligence, blue or yellow rares, whatever you can find. If you already found some orbs of alchemy or any other orbs really that turn normal items into magic items, use them on white items and hope to boost your intelligence and resistances. Especially right now, my friend, you need to max out fire resistance. I already mentioned it. This one is very important. So by now we should have gotten both of our fire resistance rings, yeah, as I described to you at the beginning of the video, and your fire resistance should be maxed out at 75%. Because your first priority is to max out fire resistance. Your second priority is to have as big a life pool as you can. Add to your life, like plus health, plus life, yeah? Because the higher your life is, the harder you are to kill, and the stronger your Righteous Fire becomes, because Righteous Fire burns for a percentage of your life. Yeah, so the thicker you are, the chunkier you are, the stronger you are with Righteous Fire. How awesome is that? I wish it was in real life like that. Got it all done? Got enough intellect? Can equip Righteous Fire? Okay, my friend, equip Righteous Fire, turn it on, and if you were following my guide and if you are looking at my path of building import in the description of this video, or the screenshot that I will link as well for those of you playing on the consoles without access to path of building, your life should not be deeping when you turn on Righteous Fire. You should basically have the right balance of life regeneration and fire resistance, essentially, yeah, plus talents that help you max out that life regeneration, that basically compensate one for another. You're burning everything around you for a certain percentage of life, but you're not dying in the process. Now let's go back left out of forest encampment, revisit our old friend Oak and burn them all with zero hesitation. We will return then to riverways and follow the broken up road west to reach Western Forest. In the Western Forest, we have to do 3 things. On one end of the map, you will just have to look around and find exactly where the entrance is. You will find the cave with a ton of spiders and Weaver's chambers where the big spider lives. Kill him and get Maligaro's spike. Exit the spider cave and go roughly the same, roughly the exact opposite corner of the map to find Alira's camp. She's the second bandit that we need to kill. And then also at the very end of this road taking you west, the main road going through the forest, you will find a bunch of guards and their captain, who drops a piece that you need to open the blocked, the road blocked passage with. Don't forget then to revisit Act 1 in Lion's Eye Watch to turn in this Opening the Way quest and get another skill point for your skill tree. How awesome is that? Once the left side kind of the global map of Act 2 is done, you will go right again out of town, find the cave with a white beast in the fields on the way to Crossroads, go further east and kill the last bandit, the bandit number 3, Creighton he's called. So kill him and come back to town to get a lovely 2 skill points from Aramir, or whatever his name is, always forget his name. There should be also other quests popping up from the inhabitants of the town. This one should be from Yina, if I'm not mistaken, that will send you for the golden hand of a holy man that is located in the Fell Shrine ruins to the south of Crossroads. That's where you're going next. So basically, finish all the quests here before you go back to Wetlands and open the roots of the ancient tree by poisoning the tree with Maligaro's spike that were blocking your way earlier. The entrance should be somewhere just above, kind of north of the now dead Bandit Oaks camp. After going through the caves, you will reach the ancient pyramid, ascending it slowly and leveling in the process. At the top of the pyramid, you will fight Val Oversoul, a pretty scary but cool final boss of Act number 2. This is probably the first time where you should start feeling just how solid and sturdy Righteous Fire characters really are, which should give you a taste of what's to come as you keep leveling up. So killing Val Oversoul will take you to Act 3 and the City of Sun. You should be around level 30, maybe 31, perhaps maybe a little bit under, depending on how quickly you were progressing. But that is a story for another time and for the part 2 of this very evidently detailed leveling guide for our Righteous Fire Juggernaut League starter. Did you enjoy this video? Well, please give it a like. And are you looking forward to parts 2 and 3? Well, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell not to miss those videos. Got questions? Well, please leave a comment below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.